What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and to another WNBA video. We got two games on the board for Thursday, Juneteenth, so we're going to break down and analyze each of those games. We'll talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points and the spread, and then when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into the pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. It's where all of my final plays for these games are going to live for free. Before we dive into these games, let's go ahead and jump over there to the website. That way we can take a look back at yesterday's plays, what we took and how that ended up going down. We do go 1-1 on the night. We took the Mercury and the Sun, a total under 156.5. And man, I'm bummed out about this one because that line actually moved in favor of an over. It got up to 158.5 before tip, right? This total lands at 158. So if you took the under at 158.5, you land on a hook and you cash. I unfortunately did not, man. I caught it early at 156.5. So we get a big X on that one. Then we took Alyssa Thomas over 22.5 points plus assists. She finishes with 25, so we do cash on that one. Like I said, 1-1 on the day. We do lose a quarter unit, but nothing too hateful, man. Let's go ahead and jump into today's games. Let's bounce back, have a winning night, guys. Smash that like button down there for me if you can. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. We got the Phoenix Mercury taking on the New York Liberty in our first game. Liberty are 11.5-point favorites, total sitting at 162.5. They've got a 7 p.m. tip-off time for this one. New York's going to enter into this one at 10-1 straight up, 6-5 to the number. They'll have a one-day rest advantage over the Mercury, who are coming into this one on a back-to-back. They are now sitting at 9-4 straight up, 7-6 against the spread after that 83-75 win over the Sun. Now, New York, man, they have owned the head-to-head between these two, winning 5 of the last 6 meetings. But this Mercury team does look much different this year, right? With almost a complete roster overhaul. Ka Copper, Natasha Mack being the only returning players from last year's rotation. This version of the Mercury has been defined by their play on the defensive end, as to be expected with an Alyssa Thomas-led team. But we've seen Satu Sabali just stay healthy to open up the year and look great in the process, man, averaging 20 points per game and just under 8 boards per outing. Westbeld, Loxka, Hell, and Nakua Makane, man, they are all enjoying successful first-year campaigns in the W and have all contributed to early success so far that we've seen from Phoenix this season. And now we've seen Ka Copper return to the court as well after missing some extended time to open up the year. She's working herself back into form, but man, she can provide this offense the punch that it needs, right, to complement what we've seen so far from Sabali. And then, man, this Phoenix team starts looking kind of scary. New York's going to be without Leonie Feebert still. She is away for EuroLeague action, but Jonquil Jones she is back in the mix after missing a few games last week with an ankle injury. This team, though, man, they're just so deep, so talented. They're still first for points per game, second for shooting percentage. They are fourth for three-point shooting percentage. They're dishing out the third most assists to the third fewest turnovers. They're sitting at first for offensive, defensive, and net rating. By far and away the best team in the league, man, to begin the year. They're also first for points scored in transition and off of turnovers. Phoenix, while middle of the pack, seventh in terms of points allowed in transition, they do sit at second for points allowed off of turnovers, despite sitting at eighth in the W for turnovers per game. New York is making the second most above the break threes across the league. Phoenix, the fourth most. But the Mercury allow the fifth fewest such makes. The Liberty are actually giving up the most. 11.5 just it feels a little bit disrespectful, right? I get it. New York has been dominant, I just said it, right, to open up the season. They've definitely looked every bit of the part as the best team in the W, but the Mercury aren't, some bottom tier team. And while I'm not in the line of thinking that they're going to win this thing outright, not by any means, I do think the Liberty win this one. I definitely, definitely like Phoenix's chances of keeping this one within 11 points. I'm wondering if that line has more to do with this being a back-to-back to Phoenix on the road as it does to the talent disparity between these two teams. Like I said, Liberty are the better team. I do expect them to win, but I don't know that I want to lay 11.5 points with them. I think I would be more comfortable catching those points with the Mercury. So that's the direction I would lean there as far as the side. Um, Looking at the total, I think I would definitely lean over looking at this one, man. New York has hit over in 3 of their last 4, Phoenix 4 of their last 5. Even though the Mercury are a good team defensively and they lean heavy into that, that's kind of their identity. They are on the back-to-back, right, against, the best offense in the league. So I do expect some tired legs in the second half, a decline in effort, defensively at some point in that game. My only concern with this is if, Phoenix will be able to get it done on the offensive end at the end of the day, at least, do their part for us to see an over. So maybe this is one where we just look at a New York team total over, but right now I'm only seeing team total props available for the Mercury. And I was kind of thinking about looking at a Mercury team total under, but those are sitting down at about 76, 75.5, and that's just a little too low for my liking. So I think that I would look at a full game over or maybe just isolate it to the Liberty team total over at the end of the day. And then our second game on the night, going to be looking at the Indiana Fever taking on the Golden State Valkyries. We have a 10 p.m. tip-off time for this one. Total was sitting at 167.5. That's where we opened up at. It is now down to 163.5. The Fever come into this one winners of 4 of their last 5, winning each of their last 2 by 14 and 17, respectively, since the return of Caitlin Clark. They are 6-5, both to the number and straight up. Indiana is beginning a 3-game road trip with this one, and the Valkyries are returning home to begin a 5-game homestand. Golden State has won 3 of their last 4 and sit at 5-6 straight up, 7-4 against the spread. Luana Bonner is still away from the Fever for personal reasons. The Valkyries are going to be down multiple players, averaging double-digit points per game, 3 players total. They have 4 players total that they are down to EuroLeague play. The Valkyrie are, they've been surprising to open up the year, man. Better than expected for sure, but definitely think they're gonna struggle here, man. Despite the Fever being on the road, traveling out to the West Coast, I think that's really the only advantage that Golden State has here against this Indiana team coming into this one, man. They have fed off the energy of their home crowd great so far this season, but the Fever, they tend to see a good showing from their fan base on the road as well. While Golden State has been decent on the defensive end, 7th for defensive rating, they are 3rd to last for offensive rating, and just 10th for effective field goal and true shooting percentages. Indiana has the 3rd rated defense, 4th ranked offense, and sit 4th for effective field goal and true shooting percentages. Golden State sits at 2nd in terms of percentage of points being scored from 3-point range, and that makes sense as they put up the 4th most 3-point attempts per game. The problem with that is that they are dead last in 3-point shooting percentage, sitting at 13th, shooting just 27% from beyond the arc. To make matters worse, man, the Fever are allowing the fewest made shots from deep at the lowest shooting percentage. Valkyries are also turning the ball over at the 2nd highest rate, with the Fever sitting at 5th for turnovers forced per game. Indiana is 4th for points scored off of turnovers, while Golden State is giving up the 3rd most such points. So I think this is a Fever spot for me, even with that being a bigger number right on that line. I definitely think that I would be looking at Indiana on this one. Couldn't get there with Golden State, guys. It's Indiana or nothing at all, man. But looking at the total, there's been a ton of movement in favor of the under so far, and I can't say that I disagree, right? The thing opened up at 167.5. We see it down at 163.5. Moving in favor of the under, and I'm definitely in agreement with that, man. Despite wanting to play at a faster pace, we have seen the Fever land under this 163.5 number at a 64% rate this season, 100% of the time when playing on the road. We've seen the Valkyries, they finished below this number at a 91% rate this season, 100% of the time when playing at home. Right, we see Indiana sitting at 4th for pace, but when playing on the road, that drops down to 8th. Golden State is playing at the 8th slowest pace, just overall, man, home or away. So I'm going to lean under in this one. That is going to do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please do not forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. That's going to do it, man. Hope you guys all cash out. Have a great night. I'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.